Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. But what you see going into that tank is gold-bearing sand. The water just helps it along. There are 28 of these redwood tanks, each holding 700 tons of sand. 8 hours to fill a tank, and 20 to drain the water from it. Then air is forced up through the sand to provide oxygen necessary in the cyanide treatment. The incoming cyanide solution goes on dissolving the particles of gold left in the sand after amalgamation and liquefies it. It's hard to imagine gold being dissolved in a liquid like sugar in your coffee, but that is exactly what cyanide solution does. It turns gold into liquid. And there it is, liquid gold.
Nuclear power plants fueled with uranium are already producing electricity for millions of Americans, and many more of these plants will be built in the future.
I want to report a murder.
Sit down. Where was this murder committed?
San Francisco, last night.
Who was murdered?
I was.
And life hung on the quickness of a trigger finger. There was gold in them thar hills, gold at Spring Creek, gold at Crook City, gold at Central City, gold on the mountains, in the rivers, and in the dark depths far below the surface of the earth. For centuries uncounted, men have sought, fought, and died for gold, as they did in the Black Hills when the West was young. Still a mining camp, but a mining camp with 20th century trimmings. The homestake mine is still there, for lead is homestake, and homestake is lead. Would you like to mine for gold? Today, gold mining means raw materials, men and construction, combined with the science of chemistry and the wonders of modern engineering, all of which are necessary to make homestake ore pay. New construction, which will take 2 years at a cost of about $3 million to complete. done from the top down. The shafts are cut from the bottom up. Tunnels, or drifts as the miners call them, are blasted from the solid rock to connect old workings with the exact location of the new shaft. Then the latter moves upward in many separate segments or links, which one by one are merged into a single vertical opening. Precision engineering makes sure the drifts meet the new shaft at the right places. But it's not as easy as that. Opening up a level and placing it in proper condition for mining requires many months of work. Drilling, blasting, ditching, hauling waste rock. More than 3.5 million feet of timber.
Our country is dependent upon the uranium industry and the uranium miners for a continuing adequate supply of this magic element. The magic of uranium stems from its property of radioactivity. It is this same property, however, that endangers the health of workers who mine and handle uranium. Therefore, special precautions must be taken to protect uranium miners from exposure to excessive radioactivity. The awesome power of the nuclear explosion has been harnessed and is being used to benefit all our lives. The property called radioactivity means that individual atoms decay at a certain rate and emit energy in the process. Each decay event results in a breakdown of the original atom into an atom of a different element and is accompanied by a characteristic release of energy. Beginning with its change to thorium-234, each atom of uranium is transformed in steps through 13 elements before becoming a stable atom of lead. One element in this uranium decay series is a gas called radon. Thus, radon is being gradually formed in all uranium-bearing rock. Being a gas, radon can seep into the mine air from rock surfaces and cracks exposed by mine openings. Normal radioactive decay of radon then continues in the mine atmosphere.
This diamond bit has a value of some $4,000. It doesn't look like it, does it? But that's right, this is worth about $4,000, and I think you can see why if we look at it carefully here. Because these little individual chips all around the face are real diamonds. They're very hard. This is a special kind of a bit that we call a core bit. And it's used to rotate and cut away a section of the rock through which we're drilling. The section might look like this. This happens to be a core sample of a shale. This is brought to...
About 1921, an early suspicion of the danger of radiation from radon and its daughters came from Europe, where uranium and radium were being mined. In one district where radon daughter concentrations were very high and mine ventilation was poor, about half of the deaths among underground miners was from cancer. Records are not available, but it is assumed that early American uranium miners had a similar exposure to radon daughters.
This is the final result of the vast operations above and below. Less than a week ago, this gold was imprisoned in hard and tough rock, thousands of feet below the surface of the earth. What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold from the ore. 4/10 of an ounce of bright yellow metal is what you see here, and it comes from 1 ton of ore. 1 ton of ore mined with modern equipment. 1 ton of ore hauled and hoisted to the surface. 1 ton of ore crushed and ground to a fine sand. 1 ton of ore through the rod mill for amalgamation, through the great tanks for cyanidation. The coordinated effort of hundreds of men above and below the surface of the earth, complicated machinery, modern science, all working together so that 4/10 of an ounce of gold may be wrested from 1 ton of ore.